Is this going to be enough for Mortara to jump him up into the top 4? Quickest, a 22.397 for Eduardo Mortara. So Van Doorn returning to the pit lane, too wet to improve. It is Mortara, Dennis, Camera and Van Doorn that advance through to the duels. Here's a look at Alexander Sims.
Oh yeah, that's damaged the suspension. Yeah. Definitely would have damaged the steering arms.
Can Evans get into the top 4? Will it be Evans or Vern advancing through to the duels? Across the line, it's Evans!
0.05 of a second.
Verline, Roland, Degrassi and Evans advancing through to the duels. And Evans is going to be in the first duel. Mitch Evans up against Eduardo Mortara. Here comes Mortara. He's onto Olympic way now, but the Venturi that had looked so strong in practice earlier on has been scuppered a little by the weather. You can hear the car sliding as he comes across the line and ends up 1.1 seconds down. Lucas Degrassi up against Jake Dennis.
You don't want to overdo it. It's so easy just to overdrive and put the car into the barrier. Look at this. Look at the massive opposite lock moments for Jake Dennis. And you can see he's got the car sideways. There's just no grip and he's half a second down.
Degrassi across the line, and Degrassi is into the semi-finals. Sergio Sede Camera up against Oliver Rowland.
Yeah.
I think Sede Camera's broken down.
Turned 13, just the last of the right-handers in the stadium, and he's stopped.
Stoffel Van Doorn versus Pascal Wehrlein. They faced each other twice before, and Wehrlein has had the advantage on both occasions.
Big snap though, oversteer, hit the wall.
Wehrlein's in the wall, even though he had an 0.8 of a second advantage. Is that going to bring it down a lot? Van Doorn wrestling the car. Van Doorn is almost in the wall. Track conditions are worse. It's going to be 7th on the grid for Stoffel Van Doorn. Across the line comes Wehrlein. And it is 7th on the grid for Stoffel Van Doorn. Semi-finals coming up in just a few moments' time. The gap goes up a little more, almost half a second. Degrassi, is he going to book himself a place? Oh, look how much Evans has closed in. Evans has a moment in the final corner. It's going to be so close between them. Who's through to the final? It's Degrassi. Pascal Wehrlein versus Oliver Rowland.
The driver's got such a lot to do with the pace of the car, but Oliver Rowland has a moment in 12. Rowland giving big snap as he hits the painted lines. Great car control, great reactions from Oliver Rowland.
And what's happened to Wehrlein? He's got 0.8 of a second on him, Roland. Where has that lap time come from in the middle sector? Mahindra through. 1.6 seconds ahead of Wehrlein. Roland in the final for the first time. Second time in the final for Lucas Degrassi. Roland now into turns 2 and 3. We'll get a split here of who is quicker and who is slower. Degrassi is up by over 1/10 of a second. Really wet out there now. Again, the gap remains just over 1/10. Bit of a wiggle from Roland. Degrassi's into the stadium. Oh, looking quite neat and tidy for Degrassi, but Roland has got a couple of tenths here. He's found 3 tenths overall.
Big switch around. And we saw Roland's commitment in the quicker sections on the section now that Lucas Degrassi's on. So let's see if he can keep up that pace and keep the pressure on Lucas Degrassi. Degrassi's got no idea what time Roland's doing. He just knows he's got to find the limit of the car. Look at the puddles getting deeper with every minute.
Now, this was the second half of the lap where Roland absolutely blew Wehrlein out of the water, almost literally, and Degrassi is really wrestling it coming into turn 20. Kept it all together, and look, Roland's done it again. Man's a magician in the middle sector.
Where's the shortcut?
He's 0.6 quicker than Degrassi in the middle third of the lap. Gets on the power now, down towards the final corner. Degrassi takes the checkered flag. He's now a second down on Oliver Rowland. So 36-0. Does Rowland get it stopped? He's fighting it into turn 22.
He didn't get it stopped, I don't think.
He was nowhere near the corner, but he takes pole position. Mahindra and Rowland on pole for Seoul. Dilbag Gill delighted. A 35-4 for Rowland. Mitch Evans starts third, the main rival now to Stoffel Van Doorn in the championship fight. Lucas Degrassi starts second on the grid for the second week in a row, but it's Rowland on pole.